These are Earmor M31 hearing protectors by Opsmen, retailing at around $49. These headsets are about the same price as Walker Razors and Howard Leight Impact Sports. They've been supplied for this review by Opsmen and evic.com, and we're going to see how well the Earmor M31 compares with the industry leaders. These low-profile electronic hearing protectors feature a noise reduction rating of 22 decibels. 2 AAA batteries power the unit for up to 350 hours, and if you forget to turn off the unit before putting them away, it has an auto shut-off after 4 hours. They're reminiscent of MSA Sorden's combat headsets, but with an unusual asymmetrical slant. They're designed with this angle so that the ear cup rests against your rifle stock. It's an effective design solution to the problem of noise leak due to a pushed ear cup when you're using iron sights, something all too common with other electronic hearing protectors. Alright, the M31 comes in this rather nice, nicely designed packaging reminiscent of an Apple iPhone from a few years back. And on the back there is specs from the manufacturer. As you can see, they say that it is meant for shooting as well as listening to media, though more on that later. Some other key details: it has an NRR of 22, that's a noise reduction rating. It has a reaction time of less than 0.5 milliseconds to cut off noise, high volume noise. It has a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. It runs off of 2 AAA batteries, and it has an automatic 4-hour shut-off time. We have the product itself. Instruction manual. It's pretty well designed, actually, and some good detail. This really looks like a much higher-end product than either the Razor or the Howard Leights. Certainly better put together than the packaging that you get from them in their blister pack. So here's the 3.5-inch auxiliary input cable, and you get a travel pouch. So honestly, I never use those. Before taking them to the range, I tested it with a Dyson hand vac to see how much noise it could reduce. At the range, the M31s performed quite well as my Howard Leights in cutting off the noise of my gunfire, but immediately thereafter picking up the ambient voices, noises, and sounds around me in a natural way, not picking up little tiny sounds from far away as if they were up close. I could tell also which direction voices and conversations were coming from. So, what do I think of the Earmor M31s? Well, first, before I get into that, I'd just like to ask you, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. And if you didn't like this video, go ahead and hit the unlike button. But at least let me know in the comments what you didn't like about the video or what I could be doing better. That really helps improve things. And if this is the first video that you've seen of mine, please hit the subscribe button. It encourages me to make more videos. Okay. Thank you to evic.com and Opsmen for sending this pair of headphones for me to review. And I'm going to let you know what I told them. I'm going to be as brutally honest and unbiased as I can be. And that is, these are the first headphones that were actually painful to wear. And that is a big problem. Now, let me caveat this by saying that everybody's head is slightly different sized and everybody's ears are different shaped. But these are the first headphones I ever wore that actually it was uncomfortable to wear after 20 or 30 minutes because the edges of my ears were pressing up against the inside of the ear cup. Now, I think that's because the designers at Opsmen made these ear pads really super cushy, soft, and thin, and that was making for, just because it's squished so much, that there's just less room on the inside of the ear cup. Now, what I eventually found is that after a couple of range visits, I found that if I changed where these hung on my head and lifted them up a little bit higher, it did relieve a lot of that pressure and discomfort. I also found that if I replaced the ear pads with gel ear pads instead of the stock ear pads, it also relieved the pressure. Now, I actually recommend that replacing the ear pads with all headphones, regardless of the brand. Whether I've replaced my Howard Leight Impact Sports with gel ear pads, and not only does it make it more comfortable, but it actually improves the sound, the NRR rating by as much as 20%. So that is, for that reason alone, I highly recommend changing all of your earpads to gel earpads. So if you replace the gel earpads and position it on your head, you should be able to relieve that pressure, but that's something that I think they should cover, their engineers needed to be aware of. Now, if your ears are even bigger than or wider than mine, you still may have problems with these Opsmen. So I recommend that you purchase them from a good and reliable retailer like Evic, which would have a decent return policy if you experience that. And you may not experience it, but I just want you to be mindful and be aware of that possible problem with them. And if you do experience ear discomfort with, it may just be because you're using a low-profile hearing protection. You may need to go with the full-size ear cups, like in these Peltor Tactical Pros, or I think Caldwell makes full-sized earphones as well. So if you've got big ears, you just have to get bigger headphones. So anyway, what do I like about these? Aside from that issue with my ears, I actually do like these. These have the best features of my other two favorite headphones, which are the Walker Razors and the Impact Sports. Like the Impact Sports, the Howard Leights, these have stereo audio pickup, which means that if I'm hearing a sound on my right side, I know that sound is coming from that direction. Or behind me, or I know if the sound's coming from behind me. With the Walker Razors, and with the Peltor Range Guards, they have omnidirectional sound, which means all the sounds sound like they're coming from all directions, and that's disconcerting. I could hear with the Walker Razors, sometimes I'd hear sounds from the parking lot as if they were nearby. So, that's just annoying. Where the M31s excel over the Howard Leights is in the auxiliary sound, the sound that comes in through your auxiliary port, your aux port. You just need if you plug in a 3.5 millimeter jack into your aux port and plug the other end to your phone or an audio device, you're getting pretty decent sound, much better than the Howard Leights, and you're never going to get the same high fidelity sound like you would with like a set of studio monitors or gaming headsets or like Beats or Bose headphones. But these aren't hi-fi headsets. These are hearing protectors. And the benefit of having good quality sound coming through your aux port is you can take a call. And if you've ever been in the range and had a call come in, an important call you had to take, or at least listen to, you've often had to leave the range just to be able to hear your phone properly. Now you can just jack in and you'll be able to hear your phone clearly. So that is a great feature on these, and the sound on these are even better than the Walker Razors or the Peltors. So I have to say, these M31s, great headsets, aside from that issue with them being very tight on my ears, which I eventually figured out how to solve. But apart from that, I highly recommend them. And if you're interested in picking up a pair yourself, I've included a link in the description, in the video description. So use that link because it does help this channel out. I do get a small commission if you use that link, but it's going to cost you the same whether you use that link or not. So why not help the channel? Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. You be safe out there. Moondog, out.